The content you're about to enjoy comes from the archives of The Best You. We're devoted to the very best in personal development. With a magazine and resources dedicated to inspiring and changing people's lives, at The Best You, we work with the world's leading writers and trainers on the evolution of the self, and people whose journeys have been affected by their work and words. For more information, go to www.thebestyou.co.
Bringing my next guest, of which I'm going to do a very brief introduction. And his name is Sajady. And Mas is the founder of Exponential Intelligence, Metamorphosis, and Medi-Healing that has helped tens of thousands around the world to break through challenging situations in their personal and professional lives so they achieve not only success, but also significance in their lives. The talk of his descriptions is passion. Every successful person says you have to have it. Everyone wants it, but many, including those who teach about passion and wealth, don't know how to master it. I say the same thing that Mas says, is that a lot of people should read their own books. I'm going to bring you in, Mas.
Fantastic. Hi, how are you?
How are you? Good to see you.
I'm doing good. Thanks.
Mas, I'm very excited and delighted to have you here. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
You're going to be joining me on Sunday.
Yes.
We announced today, and I'm very excited. Obviously, you are founder of the Best You, and we're very excited about your content to television. I can't wait to talk to you about that on Sunday. But I'm honored, and there's so many people that are so excited that you joined us last minute. So I'm going to give you the floor. And if there's anything you need from me, apart from just letting you get on with it.
You hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Just making sure. All right, guys. Hi, guys. Sajady here. And thanks, Bernardo. So we've got, 45 minutes, Bernardo, before you
got 55 minutes.
55 minutes? Oh, okay. We can do a lot. Awesome. So, let's just jump right in. And again, I was listening to the last, funny as hell, the last few parts that I heard. I get a little more intense for several reasons. And I'll explain that. But my knowledge does not come. I mean, it does come from experience, but my knowledge comes from, say, a second near-death experience. And I've learned to hone that knowledge or that abilities that I have into helping. Tens of thousands of people, actually closer to 100,000 people. And that's really my background. So I just want to go through my background for a little bit, and then we'll talk about passion and how to get it once and for all, and how to redefine passion. Because most individuals, people go, well, you have to find your passion, you have to have passion, but nobody really shows you how to get it. And then what they say about finding your passion is really wrong. And it's not that it's wrong. I'll explain that. So I'll explain that as we go in. Otherwise, I'll have to just jump right in. So anyway, I'm here. Had two near-death experiences. The first near-death really allowed us to see the bigger concept of who we are. So the bigger concept of who we are is not like your life situation. It's not about, creating, mastery or creating success. It's not about, say, relationships. It's not even about love. It's got nothing to do with that. So that first near-death experience, I had my jaws crushed, and you can find all about that in my website. But the first near-death experience, I had my jaws crushed. I was hanging in a rail car. I used to unload rail cars when I was a young kid, in my 20s. And the takeoff or the takeaway on that was that I started to see the grander version, or that limitless self of who we are. So I was floating away out of my body, and I looked at my body, and I'm going, wow, that's a very limited version. And the difference between me and most people who have near-death experiences, I was conscious in my awakened state. Most people aren't conscious. They go through the process, just like life. right? Most people go through life and they're not really conscious of what's happening around them or to them. So I was actually very, very conscious. As I separated, I realized that I had separated, and I realized that, my physical form or my identity, which is only 1% of who we really are, but that 1% dictates 100% of individuals' times or their lifespan here. Again, that they go through making money, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. Having a relationship, having kids, getting a job, going to college and doing the life experiences that we all want. But that only, again, like consists of 1%. So no matter what you do, say in that 1%, it's never good enough. It's never complete. And that's why you have billionaires that that have the same issues as those individuals who don't have any money, who are out on the streets. So money doesn't say provide that passion or isn't that fuel for that passion. Love, they go, well, everything is about love. And that's not true either, because people go out and search for love. And in their 1%, they see love from a very different perspective. Usually, love in this reality or in this realm is literally about it's about sacrifice. It's like, okay, how do I connect with this person and stay with this person and be happy and be nurtured. So there's a give and take. If that makes sense too. So. Or even spirituality or religion. And again, not knocking any of those things down or anything that I said before down, but even those things, religion, spirituality and all that, people do that. And again, it's a sacrifice pattern. What do I have to do to say, have a higher understanding of a Godhead, whatever that might be, whatever religion or again, spiritual movement that you are. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. But in this paradigm or in this consciousness or the 1% of your existence here, the 1%, as I call it. And again, I stress that because most people think that this is all that there is. And if you master this, then you master everything around you, and you don't. It's actually the opposite. And you lose your passion, and that's why it's key. So that first near-death experience, I separated from what we think is 100% of who we are, right? And most people at this stage in life, that 1% that they exist, it's like, well, I'll have all that success, and then later I'll connect to, what we call, our spirit, or go back to being a good person, or, philanthropy and all that stuff. That shit doesn't work either, because you've lost most of your life trying to not be who you are. That makes sense. You can't go back to it. It's already solidified for you. So I can scan many of you who are listening in, and that's what's happening. So in this quest to find yourself, you're starting to lose yourself even more. So let's take a deep breath in, because this is going to be more than just a talk. It's going to be, say, an experiential experience for you, where I help you shift into your higher state without having a near-death experience, which is really good. So back to my near-death experience, where I separated my identity and I realized the limited self that we are. And then all of a sudden, it's just like within a flash, it's like, whoa, I understood who that limitless self was, because I was operating from the 99%. Again, the 99% compared to the 1% of who you think you are. And that 99% was, it's the most, say, passionate, most loving, most grandiose experience, most abundant experience that you'll ever experience. I existed in that space. I don't know how long. You went through your life review, as people call it. And it's not like, oh, shit, here we go. I'm going to go to heaven or hell. It's not a life review. It's you relive your life. Because most people, let's put it this way, most people live their life, going through it at a kindergarten level. Right. This is that you actually go and relive your life at, say, a master's degree level, a PhD level, and you look at it and it's like, oh shit, that's why this relationship happened. That's why this happened. So there is no I should have's or I could have's or anything like that. It literally is. It's like, wow, life is grand, but you don't have to keep it that way. That's the key. It's like, okay, I experienced this. I experienced it, but let's move on to the grander version of who we are, not the limited self that you adopted from your parents, your society, your belief systems and so on that keep you perpetuating, say, in the same same constant, so to speak, right? You struggle, you say become successful, or you achieve a goal, and you think your passion is going to flow through you, and then all of a sudden it's like, well, shit. That goal didn't, why didn't it sustain itself? Because that wasn't your passion. So we'll talk about that in just a bit. The second near death really allowed me to understand, say, the mechanics of how this reality works. Right? So it's the physics and exponential intelligence. What I've labeled it, I didn't develop it. I didn't design it. I'm that person who studied it really in depth, cataloged it. And it's literally a physics. It's a science, just like gravity. It dictates what you do. Gravity, no matter if you believe in it or not, it dictates what you do here in this reality. You can't get away from it. So exponential intelligence is basically, say, the science of how this reality works at a much deeper level. It's actually the science on how you create this reality. So it's a lot about, say, time and space. It's a lot about, say, higher levels or layers of consciousness. And that might sound dry to you, but once you understand, say, the physics on how this life or how this reality works, you actually get to thrive in it. Right? If you didn't, say, understand the concepts of, say, gravity, okay, you would have a hard time. You'd fall, you'd get into accidents, you'd do stupid things. So the same thing with life, or creating that passion, is that if you don't understand the logic on how this reality or this life works, you're going to do a lot of stupid things. And you think that the solutions that you're going to find, or the solutions that you're going to go for, and again, in most cases, wealth is that solution that is, say, the fix it, for everything. Again, I work with, billionaires and millionaires, and they still have the same damn issues as everybody else. They might do it in more style, but again, it's the same issues. By the way, I'm not knocking wealth down. I'm not knocking, say, poverty down. I'm just observing. I'm just telling you that neither scenario will work out for you. So in that second near-death experience, neither scenarios will work out for you if you don't understand, say, what your passion is or who you really are at a deeper level. Okay, so in that, from that, say, second near-death experience, again, I understood the mechanics on how this reality works, not just for myself, but I've worked on 100,000 people, and nobody can actually say that. I don't care how big of a person or how famous that person is. They haven't worked on 100,000 individuals one-on-one. They might have done it, sure, millions of people, like on stage or as a group, and I have large groups as well. But one-on-one, that's a hell of a lot of, say, studies. That's a lot of reference points. So that's what I base, say, my experiences on, or the knowledge that I'm sharing with you. Okay, it's duplicatable. It works each and every time because it's at a higher, say, level of understanding or consciousness, and it works for everybody. Okay, some of you might have to go through a lot of shit to get rid of all that garbage, and then it'll work for you. But again, it works for everybody because it's at a higher level. The knowledge does not come from this consciousness or your 1%. The knowledge comes from, again, if you want to call it your spirit, I associate it to that because most people are used to that word, but I would call it your pure presence or your higher self is a better terminology. So the second near death, I've honed my abilities, which we all have. By the way, I teach this to help you accelerate your success in any endeavor, and no matter what modality that you use. Again, accelerating you into wealth, accelerating into pure love, pure wealth, pure relationships, pure, say, understanding of a higher order. Okay? I'm not saying this is a new way of believing or new way of looking at things. That's very different. So, for example, if you're using NLP, for example, or psychology, or prayer, or whatever it is. It doesn't matter to exponential intelligence. You're just doing it from not your 1% that is limited. You move over to your, say, 99%. And that's the key. You're operating, or you're existing in this reality from your 99%. You're seeing the possibilities of this reality from your 99%. And that's the key. So no matter what you do, to say accelerate yourself, it'll work for you much better, much easier. And I'll give you a clear definition of that. So most modalities, no matter what you do, including making money or psychology or anything else that's out there, they work at the surface level, like belief systems, behavior, psychology. But what's deeper than that? Okay, I go into your genetic, say, structure or your DNA. The transformations in exponential intelligence go that far. So it literally changes how people, say, look. People age younger. People don't age like their parents. People don't get sick like their parents. They don't have to, say, dictate. They don't get dictated by society's standards on, say, what wealth is, what happiness is, because most people who, say, gravitate toward those definitions and achieve them, they run empty-handed. They create the wealth, but they're still empty on the inside, right? So again, losing their passion for, or that lust for life. So let's take a deep breath in. Just briefly explain some of a few of my abilities. So if you had like a one-on-one session, or even in this group, I can read you, and that's why most of you are kind of feeling different. It's not really what I'm saying, but it is the frequencies that I generate for you, or actually, it's not my presence or essence, although it could be, but literally I'm helping you redefine yourself so you understand, or you operate from, say, not the 1% of who you are, but the limitless self of who you are. So that's what you're going through right now. Some of you might be feeling really good even now. Some of you might be thinking back on some of your problems that you had in the day, or some of the, say, turmoil that you've had in the day, or some of the abuse patterns that you've had in the day now. And that's a good thing, because those things are releasing you, or releasing for you. Okay, so stay with it. Stay here. Observe your body, and observe like your environment, because again, this is not just a talk. It's a transformational hour that we're here.
For complementary resources from my book, my complimentary e-course, The Power of the Question, or recommended reads, go to www.thequestion.com/resources. For more information on my coaching or mentoring, go to www.bernardo-moya.com.
So many of you are feeling it already. So let's just take a deep breath in, and just notice where you are. Notice the space around you. And again, it's very different than, say, psychology or anything out there. It's a change of your identity. And there's a lot of science behind it, which I won't get into. But for the most part, it pulls you. Okay, I'll just give you an example, and then we'll get into the logistics of passion. But I had to set the stage for you. And then my ability. Sorry, I forgot that. I tapped into you all and kind of lost track. So what should we do first? Yeah, let's just get you into that state. So take a deep breath in, and just notice where you are. By noticing where you are, I mean, notice, say, if there's a couch around you, or the wall, or the door, or whatever you might be, and then notice your body. Okay. So it's very important to notice objects around you, and then notice yourself. Not the other way around. Don't notice yourself and then the objects, because a good number of you tend to float out of your reality into other people's realities. So these are the people that you hang out with, somebody that's sad or ill, and then you go home being sad and ill. That makes sense to you. So for those individuals, again, and the rest of you, beneficial to notice your external environment and then notice your body. Notice any scents around you, smells. Notice where they're coming from. Notice your body. Notice sounds around you, and notice where your body, compared to where your body is. Even touch, the way you're sitting or standing or lying down. Again, this goes much, much deeper. Even the taste in your mouth. It allows you to stay or be here. Right? And this is very different than, say, being present or, that mental state of, say, mindfulness. Because mindfulness is just another layer on how you think. It's not about that. It's on how you define yourself in space-time, or how you define yourself in this reality. That's what counts. Okay? So take a deep breath in. So some of my abilities is that whether you're in a group like this, I don't have to see you. I don't have to know who you are. I can tap into who's ever sensing this. Or even afterwards on a recording, most likely I can say sense those people. And I know it sounds crazy, but it's proven. But if you're on the phone with me or at an individual level, I can scan, say, your success blueprint, basically, or your life blueprint, and see exactly what's going on with you. So I'd scan you and it's like, at 4 years of age, and I'll just read somebody, and you can, I don't know if you can comment in on this or not, or I can't see the comments, or maybe I can have a chat comment. Yeah. So if you guys if you guys can comment in, I can actually say analyze you later on. But anyway, I can go, at 4 years old, X, Y, Z happened to you. And because of that, you're limiting yourself in the future. Again, without you having to tell me about your storyline or anything like that. Most people don't know what's, say, stopping them from their passion. So not only can I see, but then I can edit your blueprint. And this is where, again, people make massive changes in their wealth strategy or relationships or that self-identity. Okay, so let's again take a deep breath in, and we'll go into passion. And again, as Bernardo was saying, that every successful person says you have to have it. Everybody wants it, but many, including those who teach about passion, don't know what it really is. So the key with that is that if you ask any successful individual, they'll go, well, you have to have your passion. You have to find your passion, and then most people find their passion into, or they put that definition of their passion into their work. It's like, well, I'm going to build the best mousetrap ever, right? And then that, and that is what my passion is going to be. But if you found out, or if you go, well, my passion is going to be, marrying or connecting with somebody or having an experience, this kind of life experience, right? But then when people achieve that person, have that person come into their life or achieve that goal or status and all that, they realize that, their passion wanes. So that's not passion. That would be a desire. Most individuals have say mistaken definitions of desire. Most people who talk about passion, again, no matter how high level, the motivational speakers out there or the gurus that are out there, they talk about passion in an incongruent way. And passion is not something you do outside of yourself. Overall. So I'll just say that again. Passion is not something outside of yourself. You'll never achieve your passion doing something outside of yourself. By helping the masses, by helping the poor, by creating wealth, by creating, love or anything like that. All those things are outside of you. That's not your passion. It's an outward extension, but most people, they do those things to find your passion. So it doesn't work as well. Okay. You might spend your time and you might be, say, in the moment and you might feel really good about it. But again, if it wanes, it's not your passion. Okay. So, and I know that sounds disheartening, right? It's like, shit, what have I been doing all my life? And I can read you all. It's like, oh my God, what the hell is this guy? Because that's all I've been taught, and that's all I know, and that's what society says. Well, look at society. You don't have to believe me, but look at society. And even the most wealthiest individuals out there, is that what you want to be? If you sat there, if you were with them, 20, like say a few days, 24/7, is like, would you really want to be like that person? And most likely it's like, well, shit, yeah, I like their money, but I don't want to be like that person. Again, you gravitate to that person. So, and that's where you lose your desire, or even say at a deeper level, your passion. So I'm going to go through and go through some of the sayings that people have talked about, and then I'll define it through exponential intelligence process, and you get to understand, and then we'll go through the process of like, say, installing, say, what passion is really about. Okay, so this one is by Harriet Tubman. Every great dream begins with a dreamer. Always remember, you have within you the strength, the patience, and the passion to reach the stars, to change the world. So true, and again, very beautifully said. But how does she define passion? Right. Again, most individuals don't understand where passion comes from. Most people think that, if you have strength, or you create momentum, or you create, say, that willpower, famous individual out there, it's always like willpower, psychology, and that's going to just drive you. And that's, you got to create that passion, or create that raw type experience. And, and you keep doing that. But, these individuals who run this pattern, what they get into their psyche is like, so they wake up in the morning, they have a morning routine, and then they have to psych themselves up, for like an hour or 2 hours, or in this case, 3 hours. 3 hours is a hell of a long time to psych yourself up to get into that state of passion where you go do something. Right? You're that warrior, and you're going to go do whatever that you're going to do. And it's fantastic. But why does it wane? And like I said, one of the key ingredients, or one of the key, say, markers of are you actually living your passion? Is it, if it wanes, you don't have it. Okay. And we'll get into, say, some of the people who do have it as a life experience. This next one is, there is no passion to be found playing small and settling for a life that is less than the one you are capable of living. That's Nelson Mandela. And that's true. And that's absolutely true. But he, just to clarify, so when he says playing small, so people start to understand, that there's a grander version of who you are, your limitless self. It's really deep inside, and this is where people, especially who get pushed and they fail, right? They get to that point, they get pushed into the corner. It's like, shit, they feel that grandness, or it's like, why can't I reach that thing that's inside me? That's just that limitless self. Well, that's what I was talking about. The 99%. That's deep inside you. It's actually around you. You just don't know how to access it. So I'm giving you the master key on how to, say, access that inner self. So Nelson, he was right. But again, he's thinking more of like, go out there and do grand things, and then that's going to be your passion. Go out there and do something big, and that's your passion. He's not, in reality though, just to, say, clarify that for him, it's literally where you understand that you're limited. Again, the 1% of who you are, your limited self, the grander version of who you are. That's what he's talking about. Again, go out there and learn a mechanism or a method to live, or transfer, or transcend from your limited version, again, here in space-time, into your limitless self, which is, again, beyond space-time. So that's what he was talking about when people go, I feel small, I feel more potential. Those individuals who have even a ton of potential with them, and they've done great things, they'll still feel incomplete. Like say the Michael Jordans, unfortunately the Bill Gates and who's ever, they always go, well, there's more. And you go, well, how much more is there? Or even Elon Musk, it's like, there's more. But because he hasn't, say, developed his real passion. And again, I'm not knocking any of those people down. They're really fantastic. But they're having an outside, experience to create their passion. And it does, say, fulfill, but it doesn't, at a certain level, but it doesn't create that human, say, wanting or desire that they're all missing. So what I'm talking about is, again, operating from, say, not your 1%, but your 99%. And that's where you feel the grandeur. You just live that limitless self in physical form here. So when you go do those big things, like Elon, or create a big company, or, help people, or love somebody, just imagine you're doing it from the bigger version of who you are, not the limited self of who you are. And that's a huge thing. It's very, very different, because if you're living from a limited self, you're always going to be in lack or in shortage. So how can you go out there and be fully passionate about something if you're always worried about something in the back end, in the psyche of your mind, right? But if you lived in your 99%, okay, that things are secure for you. That, say, finances or whatever that you need physically to be here, fully functioning and fully abundant, is here. You don't have to keep, say, working at it. Most people, again, they keep working at it. Elon Musk, for example, is like, I want to save the planet. I want to save humanity. And again, is that correct or not? I'm not here to say, but you'll just say, we'll just recreate whatever we're creating here, just at a different focus or a different level. It's happened through time. So getting back on track here. And this is a great one. Let's see. This one from the great one is that it's obvious that we can no more explain a passion to a person who has never experienced it than we can explain light to the blind. And sometimes I feel that when I'm talking to people, but I think you guys are actually getting it. Your grander version is actually, I can see you, and think about it yourself from say, and some of you even before the talk, coming into this talk, it's like there was something stirring in you, right? So you might not know, say, the passion or the logistics of passion, but that there's something deep inside you that's grander. That's that grander version that's coming out, and that's what he's talking about. By the way, T.S. Eliot. So it's really hard to explain, something that you've never experienced. And that something that most people have never experienced is the awakening to the fact that their grander version is not their identity of who they think they are. It's the 99% that is always around them, but again, they don't know that it is. So this one, Benjamin Franklin, if passion drives you, let reason hold the reins. So again, he's talking more about desire than passion, because they get mixed up. Because if you had true passion, like passion that's just unfallible, sustainable, you wake up with it, you go to bed with it, you just have that desire. Everything that you do is with passion. Every second, you make love, you're fighting with somebody. It's that passion, it's that vibrancy. You're experiencing life at a deeper level. Not just, well, my passion is X, whatever X might be, and then the rest of my life sucks. That's not passion. That's not your passion. Okay? Passion, in Benjamin Franklin's words, again, if where did he go? Passion drives you, let reason hold the reins. So true passion comes And I'll give you a little definition of passion, and then we'll go over it again. So true passion and the definition of passion is that it's a unification, or it's an intermingling, it's a commingling of your limited self, your 1%, I would call your time-bound self, and your timeless self. And again, many of you go, well, how does that what does it have to do with success? What does that have to do with health? What does that have to do with anything? It's got everything to do with it. Because if you're disconnected from yourself, with your higher being that, say, creates that essence of who you are, no matter what you do on the outside is not going to be beneficial for you. No matter how beautiful you are, no matter how perfect body, no matter how much money you have, most likely those things magnify how disconnected you are. So passion comes when there's a mingling of your time-bound self and your timeless self. As they integrate with you, there's that euphoric state of being. It's almost like a death experience, but the reverse. So, and I've gone through that, by the way. And once you see that, it ignites. If you've ever heard, say, ignite the passion within you, that's what they're talking about. Those individuals who've had a glimmer of it, it's like, boom, it comes in, and that grandness. And then again, most people think it's like, okay, what is it that I did? I have to get into that rah-rah state or whatever. It's not about that. It's about you. How do I connect myself to my limitless self and stay that way? Basically that I am state. If you're in that I am state, being here is, well, it's just passion. You are full of passion no matter what you're doing. If you're just hanging out, you're passionate. In this state, you don't get bored. You don't get bored at all, because being in this space, you're just like loving life. You're loving, say, the experience. You're loving the experience of just being here in physical form. So passion actually comes when you can, say, reflect or sense yourself here, or experience yourself here in physical form. So you're a limitless being, and you're literally experiencing yourself from a different perspective. And that's where passion comes. And that's where, no matter what you do, once you're connected into, say, that I am state, the fountain of passion, so to speak, no matter what you do, no matter what happens, you're just like full of life, full of passion, full of desire to be here. So, and it's sustainable. You wake up and you're passionate. You go to sleep and you have this passion. You do anything that you do. You don't have to motivate yourself. You're passionate about it. But when you're in that state of, say, brilliance, an expansive state, imagine how much effortless it would be to, say, create wealth for you, or create the life that you desire for you. Does that make sense? You don't have to, say, sacrifice yourself. I'm not saying it's not hard work. I'm not saying you have to spend a lot of time. You don't have to spend a lot of time. It comes easy. But whatever that you do, you're not destroying yourself to create here. What you're doing is you're expanding, because you're a limitless self. You've got limitless resources, and you're tapping into that. Right? Most people tap into their limited 1%. So they have to exchange, basically, their essence for wealth, for happiness, for love, for whatever. In this case, it's free flowing. It's literally a fountain that comes through you. And as you go experience making money, or the joy of building a business, or the joy of building a relationship, or even, say, unfortunately, like some people have cancers and stuff, as you'll actually experience it from a very different light. Okay? And most of the time people do, I'm not saying I cure anybody, but people have recovered from, say, terminally ill diseases, not just one or two, but hundreds of people, because they found their passion again. And it's like, shit, I want to live here. I want to experience what it feels like to do everything that you can experience here. And the cool thing about that is the wherewithal to do it all is given to you as well.
For more information on collaborating, partnering, sponsoring, supporting, or speaking at any of our events, or finding out more about our legacy clubs, go to www.thebestyou.co. If you're interested in finding out more about the amazing content we have, please go to www.thebestyou.online and get your 14-day free trial now.
So when Benjamin Franklin says, let reason be the reins, the reason why I bring that up is because when you're connected to that limitless being, it watches out for you. So you don't get into, say, stupid situations where you're going to destroy yourself or harm yourself. And yes, I'm not saying you don't make mistakes, but you make mistakes and then you grow and expand and even become, say, better for it. Does that make sense? Most people, like, they run after their passion and then they hit the wall and it's like, fuck, that wasn't my passion. What the hell happened? And then they come back, with their tails, between their legs, and they walk away. It's like, yeah, I guess that wasn't my passion. I'm going to go try again. But they try again with the same pattern of beliefs, psychology and their blueprint. Their DNA structure hasn't changed. So they go and then they hit the wall again and again and again. And I think I'm actually talking to a few of you one-on-one. It's like you've hit it so many times. It's like, I thought this was my passion. I thought that was going to be my love of my life. But then why isn't it there? Well, because that's not the issue. You have an underlying pattern that causes that, by the way, which I could help you out. This one from Steve Jobs is, you have to be burning with an idea or a problem or a wrong that you want to right. If you're not passionate enough from the start, you'll never stick it out. Again, the key is that it's an outward force. It's an outward motivation that's driving them. Okay, and it never works out. So you always have to have a problem to solve. If you go, well, my problem is I'm going to make $100 million. And then I'll be happy. But with those patterns, you make $100 million. But the underlying pattern is that you're not happy till you get to X. So as soon as you reach X, you're not happy with it. You always have to get to the next level, to the next level, to the next level. Hence, that's like Steve Jobs' identity. So it does make you creative, but you can get creative in another form is the key. So many of you are asking us, like, well, what the hell do I do, right? And we're kind of running out of time. So we're getting there. But what I'd like to do is, well, the last one, it's my favorite, and it's Albert Einstein. He goes, I have no special talents. I am only passionately curious. So that's what I'm talking about. And you've seen those people, they just love life. Does that make sense? They could be in a shithole and they're just like, God, it's so beautiful. But again, so they're kind of off. Albert did it properly, or more properly than most. But those individuals, most individuals are, say, out of time. Those people who are, like, say, euphoric and happy, but then, their life is not that great because well, they're in another reality where they're seeing the possibilities, but they can never access those possibilities. And I think there's a few of you in that realm as well. So you have to stay, again, so passion comes from, and I go into the deeper lectures about this, but just because of time, I'll just give you a synopsis. Passion comes when you're at the intersection or the 0 point of space and time. Okay. So, in other words, when you come into, say, an understanding, again, crossroads of space and time, when you get to that 0 point, the closer you are to that 0 point, the closer or the more aware you are of who you are at your limitless self. Okay. The further you are away, especially with goals and all that stuff, the further you are away from, say, who you really are, and not who you think you are, but the grander version of who you are. Okay, not what your self-identity is or that person that you hide away. That's not what I'm talking about. The grander version of who you are. Like when I had my first near death, right? That expansive version of who we are. Most people haven't experienced it. And I help you do that, by the way. The closer you can get to that and live from that I am state, that's where passion exists. That's where that fountain of passion exists. And it never goes away, by the way. Once you find it, You might have glimmers of it, but once you find it and hone in on it, it never goes away, and it gets bigger and better, and your life becomes more and more vibrant. And by the way, if you're living in that state, you'll never be in lack of love, lack of money, lack of health, lack of whatever. It's that youthfulness that people experience. So let's take a deep breath in. Just want to make sure that I covered everything. So overall, the definition of passion, again, not desire, not goal setting, not anything like that. It's a connection of who you are, your limited self, connected to your limitless self, that integration. When you find that, many of you are experiencing it now. And we'll do a deep, I call it a meta healing, where it's a deep state of meditation. Whether you're successful at meditating, it doesn't matter. I just push you into that deeper state. And then I rewire you to connect with your higher self. Okay? And that's where passion, say, resides and exists. So the passion is not external things. That's number two. It's not an external thing. It's how deeply you're connected to yourself. So instead of, say, having a goal, I'm going to reach X and then I'll be happy. Again, most people aren't happy because of that, because they lost their identity of who they are. So they actually stay separated. But imagine that if you're together or you're complete as a oneness being, okay? And then you pursue your goals. What happens is that you find yourself in anything that you do. Okay? And that's where real passion comes in. That's where you really help, say, society. That's where you help the world. This is where you derive, because at that higher state, you're creating from a higher level of consciousness. And as you do, especially if you're running, you're an inventor or you have ideas or your business, you come up with grander ideas. These are like technologies and ideas that don't destroy the planet. They don't destroy the users, for a benefit, like, say, 5G, for example, all those things that happen, or pollution, right? We have transportation and everything, but everything else is dying, including the users of that. So this is where that passion, because you're connected to a higher level of consciousness, you come up with better solutions for transportation. You come up with better solutions for communication. You come up with better solutions for viruses and all that stuff, without destroying. And there's no control, by the way, because you don't need control. You're self-sufficient on your own. So again, there's no need for control. So let's take a deep breath in, and I'll just guide you into that state. Again, a deep breath in, just noticing where you are, noticing the space around you. And this isn't a meditation. So meditation is usually where you escape yourself, right? You escape into, say, possibilities. This is an expansion. So this is the closest thing I could say is nature. Nature, when you go into raw nature, do you notice there's something that consumes you? It just literally pulls you in, right? And you're highly aware. So that's what I'm talking about. And that's why nature is so nurturing, because it forces you to connect. So I can generate those frequencies. I can generate them for you, but then on the flip side, again, I'm helping you generate those frequencies on your end as well. And as we come together, again, it's more magnified, that deeper connection. So strong deep breath in again, and we'll connect to the group. Whether you're listening here live or on a recording, it'll still work the same. And by the way, there's been scientific studies of my abilities. Changing water structure, changing human DNA, changing disease patterns and so on. So, and again, whether you believe in it or not, it doesn't really matter. Whether you understand it or not, it doesn't matter. I'm just pulling you back into your natural state of being, which is complete abundance, complete passion. Breath in again. We'll connect to a mastermind, a higher version. I'm sure you've heard of mastermind. But this is a higher version of who you are. Not just the next level up, but say 4 or 5 levels up. So it's like a vortex that pulls you up to be your better, grander version of yourself. Notice how you're feeling. Again, a good number of you feeling really good, feeling the power, a good number of you feeling good and the power, and then all the garbage that's, as you start to merge together, that's between you and then your higher self. That garbage has to be removed. Your idiosyncrasies, your weaknesses, all those things, again, have to be removed for you to come together as one. Okay? This isn't a workaround. This isn't about bearing your past. This isn't about working with your past. This is about deleting, eliminating it. So far so that, again, you don't age like your parents or society. You don't get ill or anything like that. You literally change your hereditary structure. Breath in again, asking yourself, strong breath in, asking yourself, how do I become my limitless self even more? If you want to have a mantra or something that you put on your, Post-it notes on your fridge, just ask that. How do I become my limitless self even more? Just write that down. Don't worry about, I want to make $10,000 a month or whatever that you want to do. Just ask, how do I become a limitless self even more? The key is even more. By the way, I do spatial goal referencing, which, again, more powerful than any goal-setting experience that you'll have. But you have to solidify yourself first. So, or again, pull that passion into you. Notice your body, notice your spine, and notice what's happening to you. Again, that's not outside or external forces, although you might think it. It's you rendering or creating your identity, again, even your cellular structure, in a different form. Okay? That's why it feels really weird to you, but that's the real you coming through. Some of you are asking, well, how does this pay the bills, or how does it help me with my business? In massive ways. But notice your chest area. But if you're not fully running on, say, all your cylinders, even if you make a lot of money, it's not going to help you. Even if whatever your desire, it's not going to help you. Say you're trying to run a race, but you have a flat tire or one of your cylinders aren't working, and you're going, well, I need to run that race. I'm just telling you, it's like, no, shit, wait, let's fix your flat tire. Let's fix your cylinders that not working. Let's put you in high performance, and then you can just speed towards that goal. Right? So it's the same process, and it's actually faster. But if you're not running on all cylinders, if you're having a flat tire and you're hobbling towards your goal, it's not very effective. It's not very efficient. It wears other aspects of you out as well. Many of you are doing that. It's like, yeah, but I need to do this first. So no, you don't. You need to fix yourself first. And I'm not saying take 10 years with XI. It's literally about that fast for many of you. Breath in again. So you're going to do the same thing, but from a higher version of yourself. So you fix yourself along the way. Okay? Breath in again. We'll go deep. We'll do a deep dive. So I'll just stay silent for a minute or two. And I'll put you into, say, that grand space where you'll feel what passion is really about. Again, all you have to do is just pay attention to your body. Push you up higher. And you get even higher. You guys are a good group. Again, notice that you didn't escape. You're highly aware of your surroundings, but you're expansive. That's what you want. That's your limitless self, or your 99%. Notice the passion that's coming through you. Notice that vibrancy, right? Notice it's inside you. It's a spring, right? It's a fountain that's inside you. It's not. Notice that you don't have to keep replenishing it. It's just you. So as we take a deep breath in again, I don't know how much time we have, but so I take you to those higher realms. It's like some of you, will it sustain? Yes, it will. But basically what you'll do, and again, according to the Fibonacci sequence, what'll happen is that you'll go to those higher states, you'll come back down. So don't worry about that. And you might be more irritated with your life. You might be more, aggravated, or you might not like yourself, or, your surroundings or other people. It's a good thing because you're seeing yourself from a higher level perspective. So just observe those patterns that are releasing. You don't have to interact with people or, get angry at them or anything like that, but just observe, because they didn't change, you did. So again, it's your pattern. So what happens is that you'll go back down, you clean, your shit up, and then you go back to that level, and then you'll go back down again and clean more up. So it's just like higher highs and higher lows, and in a very short time, especially if you do, longer sessions or the total human reset, that's going across your screen. Within 18 days, or 20 days actually, you can cut out, you can cut out the baggage, including hereditary patterns of aging and so on. And I can say that because so many people who've done total human reset have done that. They don't age like society or their parents. They don't have to get ill. And in this is really cool. In this edition of Total Human Reset Project, we really are going to be focusing in not only on the health patterns, getting you into shape really well. Again, aging younger. I'm 60 years old, by the way, and no surgeries or anything, but just again that rejuvenation. process. Again, you don't have to age like society does. So we're going to do that aspect for sure. But then this module is on success, having spherical success, where you don't have to say destroy yourself or sacrifice yourself to create success. You can have it all, and that's what we're going to be talking about in this. All right, thanks, guys. Write in any comments. That'd be fantastic.
For more information, go to www.thebestyou.co.